Hi there, and welcome to Coaching Corner with me, Tracy Forsyth. I read this article at the weekend. I've put the link below, by Josh Clancy in the Times. And he talked about us seeming to be in a state of permacrisis, that we've had like political differences, the pandemic, lockdowns, and now war. So it's sort of like we're living in this state of permanent crisis. And, you add to that the constant intake of news and data from all our devices, and it just means that we're always on. So time and time again, we find ourselves in a situation where we're worried and we're stressed, both body, mind and spirit, the whole shebang, about things that we don't necessarily have any control over. So what to do? So I just thought I'd share what I find is useful in the hope that it will help you too if you're needing it. So the first thing I think is just so simple, is just to breathe. And obviously we breathe all the time, but what I mean is be very conscious about your breath. And I use a technique that I learned on the yoga mat, and I use it in my everyday life, called oceanic breath. The yogi term is ujjayi breath, but it's called oceanic breath because you make the sound of the ocean internally, and that in itself is very calming. So this breath, I'm just going to run through it very briefly. It's said to lower your blood pressure and kick in the rest and digest the bit of the nervous system. So very, very relaxing. So essentially you make a noise with your breath like the ocean. So you constrict your throat slightly on the inhale through your nose like this. And then when you exhale, it's almost like you're going, but you've got your lips shut. So inhale. I'm hoping you can hear that. Anyway, so essentially what you do that is you shut your eyes, you inhale, making that noise, exhale, making that noise, and at the same time, lengthen and slow down your breath. Do that for 10 times, do that for 2 minutes. It will calm you down, center you, and at a time when you are feeling anxious about things you can't control, it certainly helps me, and I hope it will help you. If you want more details, please head to my Yoga in the Boardroom YouTube channel, because I've got hundreds and hundreds of little videos there that are all designed to bring calm and release tension at the workplace. So oceanic breath, inhale, exhale, making that sound, and lengthening and deepening your breath. Okay, so that's one thing, breathe. Second thing, I think, is just to really process what is going on inside you without judgment. So we have feelings, we have thoughts, we have fears, we have anxieties, and they percolate, and so no good comes from trying to squish them down. You just end up like a pressure cooker, just like exploding, or that stress and tension comes out in other ways. So just don't try and squish them down. Just be mindful of what is going on. Acknowledge what you're feeling and what you're thinking without judgment. Just be mindful of it. Be kind to yourself. I think our bodies try to tell us something. We are organic living beings, and we can't just rule everything with our heads. You have to think about the whole thing. So if you process what is really going on, and then I think you can then work out what it is you are needing, whether you need a good old cry, whether you need to rant, whether you need a friend, just process what is going on and then work out what it is that you are needing, what could be helpful. Sometimes there is nothing to be done. And so just having that awareness and sort of acknowledging what you're feeling is in some ways helpful. So the third thing I always do is take a walk, walk it out, get some fresh air, get that circulation going. Nowadays, I try to rearrange things if the sun is shining, and try and rearrange my diary and get out there in the sunshine to get that vitamin D. But even like that whole walking and thinking process, walking is supposed to be brilliant for thinking, because you're sort of like the whole body is in motion, everything's flowing, you're getting that wider space. I find looking up, looking at the horizon, looking out is good, rather than necessarily putting the ear plugs in and getting straight onto a podcast. Just having having that space, I think, is good in terms of like thinking time and just and detensifying. That I just made that word up. Anyway, fourth thing I think is to hydrate. Okay, hydrate and nourish yourself with the good stuff. I once went to a talk a few years ago by the author, and I think he's a coach actually, Nicholas Bate. And he said, for every caffeinated drink that you have one that is not have a glass of water. So whatever that's up to you. But obviously we know what the good stuff is and we know what the bad stuff is. So in terms of like feeling hydrated and well nourished in terms of food, make sure you're getting what you need. We're not like, don't treat yourself like a knackered old donkey. Even a knackered old donkey needs some good quality oats. So get your good quality oats. And then my last point 5, which is obviously something that I find difficult, is detach from the digital. I know we're living in a digital era and no one is going to separate us from our digital devices. But I'm trying to use them mindfully, just in the same way that if I sat down and ate a family-sized bar of chocolate, I might take in a bit too much sugar and feel a bit rough after that. I think the same thing in terms of scrolling and having the constant data and news coming in can lead to a surfeit and can lead to more stress and stuff. So take a break from the scrolling. I think I read somewhere that we scroll on average 237 times a day. So, let's try and get that down to 100 or something. Anyway, so that's it for today. I hope that's helpful. Take care of yourselves, look after yourselves. And if you just do one thing, honestly, it's that breathing exercise I told you about, oceanic breath. You can check it out on Yoga in the Boardroom, or you can just Google it, oceanic breath. And everybody that I've ever done that with, even the biggest skeptics, have found that has really helped and worked. Okay, take care. Bye.